And we are back. And everyone leveled up? We're level 6 now? Awesome.
Yep.
So level 6.
Totally.
Got my aura of protection.
Oh, no.
Oh.
You and your allies in the aura gain a +2 to saving throws. If you're within 10 feet of me.
Yeah, the what we call the paladin body odor of protection.
That's right. I'm always within 10 feet of me, so I always have +2 saving throws.
I'm always protected.
I'm always within 10 feet of me.
And I'll ride on your back.
Where we last left off, we pick up immediately outside St. Andral's church as the party sought to recover the stolen sacred bones. Ludolf tracked the distinct scent of graveyard dirt to a brawny young gravedigger named Milovich, who was working in the cemetery. Leaping directly into the open grave, Ludolf pinned the terrified teenager against the dirt wall and intimidated him. Milovich quickly broke down, confessing that he stole the bones and sold them for 100 gold to Henrik Vandervoort, the local coffin maker, because he desperately needed the money to feed his starving family. Showing mercy, Zoof offered the boy some food and gold coin and convinced him to apologize to Father Lucian. Led by Lucian's familiar Nocturne, the party marched to Henrik's gloomy, boarded-up shop. Zoof caught Henrik in a zone of truth, forcing the terrified man to reveal that the bones were upstairs. Panicking at the thought of what else was hidden in the upper floors, Henrik tried to flee into the street, but Lucian quickly incapacitated him with a sleep spell. The party unceremoniously tied Henrik up, stuffed the sleeping coffin maker into one of his own empty coffins in a wagon outside. Moving upstairs through the dark storage room, guided by Lucian's dancing lights, Ludolf preemptively smashed open a large wooden crate with his battle axe. This triggered a horrific ambush as 6 of Master Strahd's ravenous vampire spawn exploded from the dirt-filled crates to attack the heroes. Surrounded in the tight upstairs quarters, the party fought a desperate battle for survival. Lucian immediately turned the tide by casting Hypnotic Pattern, mesmerizing half of the undead attackers to keep the party from being swarmed. Gartham unleashed arms of Hadar and Eldritch Blast, while Eric the Cleric provided vital healing. Fully embracing this third stage hybrid beast form, Ludolf recklessly tore into the spawn with brutal bites and claws. Zoof became a beacon of holy wrath, igniting his mace of verdict with radiant and fire smites to completely obliterate the undead in his path. Realizing the vampire's innate weakness, Lucian used Misty Step to teleport up into the rafters and begin tearing apart the rotting roof. Gartham aided the demolition by blasting the ceiling with magical force. Finally, a massive 20-foot section of the roof gave way, bathing the remaining vampire spawn in pure sunlight and instantly reducing them to piles of crackling ash. And this is exactly where we last left off. You guys are still up in the coffin maker's attic space and storage area, currently in the gloomy darkness of the coffin maker's house, surrounded by crates and the burnt ashy remains of the vampire spawn. As well, in a burlap sack sitting over on top of a wooden barrel, you can see where the stolen bones are located. What would you guys like to do next?
Let's get them bones.
Like to reverently bundle up the bones.
You guys watch as Zoof walks over, sees where the bones are kind of just very unceremoniously kind of collected in the burlap sack and just kind of lying there. Zoof, give me a investigation check, or perception, if you would.
Perception with advantage.
Nice.
There's a 20. Yeah, 20.
You notice the bones themselves are rather uniquely pristine. No sign of like nicks or scratches or what you would consider to be burial effects. the bones themselves are so unblemished that they almost have a kind of magical invocation about them. And at the moment that you begin to kind of like reverently gather up the bones in the burlap sack, your sense of divinity immediately senses that these bones are truly divine, that their restoration back at the St. Angel's Church may actually invoke a protective effect.
These are indeed holy relics.
I still have like 5 turns of rage left, so I think I'm just gonna smash all the crates. And once I'm done doing that, I'm gonna run downstairs and just start smashing up the guy's whole house.
Now that I'm done up here, I'm gonna go downstairs and smash everything. I love it. And that's kind of like the sound effects of the backdrop. Like Gartham and Eric the Cleric are kind of searching through everything that Ludolf begins to kind of destroy and leave behind. And there's just this wake of broken crates, barrels, and detritus wherever Ludolf kind of rages off to. So while Zoof is collecting the bones, Ludolf is kind of rage destroying everything up here as well as heading downstairs. Eric the Cleric and Gartham are trying to stay out of Ludolf's way, but while at the same time, kind of searching through the detritus and the remains of the place. Lucian, while this is all going on, or Lucian, while this is all going on, what are you doing with your time?
Well, there's a lot of mayhem going on with all the breaking, so he's going to just casually go off to a quiet area and just observe, maybe do some searching.
Okay.
Be the core to the action.
Okay. Give me an investigation roll as you start searching around.
Eleven.
Let's see here. Take a look at.
Do we get the sense anyone's watching us?
Currently, what's your passive insight, Lucian?
16.
16. You get the feeling that this particular location is a place that maybe Baron Strahd felt was secure, and his eyes have no reason to look here. The bones being stolen, his henchman, the coffin maker, providing a safe space for his demon spawn or his vampire spawn to safely hide out during the day and then probably disappear into the town at night to feed. You get the feeling that this is one of those places where you don't really have to worry about Strahd's glancing eyes, because he probably thinks this is secure for him.
Okay.
And whatever he's begun to kind of unravel in this town is more about the unknown factor of the other families and individuals of the town. You get the feeling that whatever he was going to launch from here with the aid of the coffin maker, you guys have pretty much stopped. And with Zoof kind of like reverently recovering the bones, you get the feeling that getting those bones back to St. Andrew's Church will put a distinct kind of wrench in the workings of what Strahd is trying to get done here.
Okay.
Other than that, searching up here, everything up here is tools, ropes, unused lumber. The crates were all filled with like graveyard dirt and kind of like deep earthen dirt. Some of the crates that Ludolf smashed open were ones that nothing erupted out of. So you get the feeling that of the 7 crates that were here with vampire spawn inside them, there were 4 additional crates that had not been used yet. At some point in time, you suspect that Strahd would have placed 4 additional spawn. Once again, that would have been a contingent that could have done a lot of harm to the town. But how these crates got in here unseen, how the coffin maker has been kind of doing what he's been doing, he seems a little too low on the totem pole to really pull off this by himself. So you get the feeling that this might be a gateway location into some other nefarious activity that might be going on within the confines of the town.
Okay.
Zoof, you've gathered up the bones. Ludolf is coming out of his rage after destroying the downstairs as well. At some point, Gartham will have discovered the small strong box that the coffin maker maintains. For a coffin maker to maintain a wage of money seems kind of well-to-do in this town, considering the graves being dug, the coffins that were stacked out front of his house. But in the coffin maker's strongbox, you will locate 282 gold pieces, 26 platinum pieces, and 85 silver pieces.
Let me throw that in the party inventory.
Sure.
You also find, and I pinned it in Discord for you, you also find a area map of the town of Vallaki. It would seem that this map was crudely drawn up by the coffin maker, and it would also seem that on the map, almost as if it was being used as a possible staging of activity, but no markings, no circles, no numberings, nothing that tells you that the coffin maker was ready to proceed with anything he might have in mind. Otherwise, the only noticeable marking is in the very center of the map, where the center of the town is, and where the Festival of the Sun is expected to be held. There is a distinct circle around that area, but no other markings on the map.
In that circle, is that another building, or is it an open field to have the party in?
It's where you guys saw when you guys were walking through the town. That's where they were building the giant wicker representation of the sun. And at the beginning of the Festival of the Blazing Sun, that first night of the festival, they're expected to burn that wicker sun as an effigy of offering to begin the festival.
I'm going to head back downstairs and interrogate Heinrich and see if he's still breathing, of course, in the coffin. We gotta let him out.
Gartham has already dragged the coffin out of the wagon up onto the stoop of the coffin maker's house. As he opens it, you guys can see that Heinrich is still alive, but he is currently gagged and bound as you had put him into the coffin. But he's still alive, but no longer under the effect of the sleep spell, as that has expired.
I'm gonna recast Zone of Truth.
Another wisdom save. Yeah, he will fail that wisdom save.
Okay. I'm gonna remove the gag from his mouth.
He starts whimpering, starts looking at all of you, and there's a notion of surprise in the fact, passively, you can't help but think that he's surprised that you guys are still alive.
Oh, you are surprised that we lived.
You must understand. No one tells the man that delivered these crates to me. I had never seen before. He had come under strict guidelines of some mentor of his I assure you, I had no idea that those creatures were up there.
You are certain?
Persuasion or intimidation, Zoof? I'll let you.
Which is better? Oh, persuasion's better.
Okay.
Ooh.
It's a 25.
Man, Zoof is rolling diamonds tonight. I can assure you, sir, I knew that something was strange about those crates. After the nobleman that brought them to me, I took a bit of a curious look at them. He paid me a great deal of money to look the other way. He said that the crates were to be placed outside during the evening of the beginning of the Blazing Sun Festival. He said that they were meant to be a surprise upon the burning of the effigy, and that as long as I placed the crates there, I would be guaranteed an additional 1,000 gold for my efforts. I thought that the request was strange. After he left, I couldn't help but notice I could hear things or something inside the crates. This warranted caution from me. I knew that at some point I would have to move the crates into the wagon, bring them to the center of town, but I chose to avoid them for as long as possible. I knew that I had to secure the bones first. When the young lad seemed desperate for money, and I clearly had the opportunity of coin, well, I took that opportunity to pay the young man to retrieve the bones for me. I'm not really entirely sure as to why retrieving the bones was important, but money is tight. Coin, difficult to find these days. He just kind of hangs his head in shame. Not really sure what else to say. I apologize, but and he just kind of begins to murmur and lose his thoughts and kind of settle into his fate.
Was the nobleman supposed to come back and collect the bones?
The nobleman, I'm not sure if he was supposed to come back. He said he would come back after the end of the Blazing Sun Festival. He did seem to have a rather sickly and cruel smile on his face when he told me so. I was not really expecting much more information from him. He had a ill look about him, and for some reason, whenever he spoke at me or to me, I found myself unable to look away, unable to, turn my gaze from him.
And you're certain you have no name?
If I had one, I would certainly remember, but every time I think back to when the nobleman arrived, I don't really... No, wait. He expressed the name Valish. He said he was the nobleman Valish. I don't know why it's so hard for me to remember that name, but I think that was the name that he used.
Do you have any of his stuff? Like a bag that he kept the gold in when he gave it to you?
Not particularly. The coins that he gave to me, I kept in a strongbox inside my house. I can show you where that strongbox is if you need me to.
Don't worry about it.
So we already found the strongbox, right?
Correct.
Brian's okay. Well, we will be delivering you up to the Burgomaster after we stop at the church.
You watch as Gartham takes possession of the coffin maker, firmly holding on to his bound hands, reestablishing the gag, and cutting the ropes of his ankles so he'll be able to walk out in front of Gartham. Gartham's got a pretty solid hold on him. You guys gather up what kit and items that you need, and you begin to march back down into the town in the direction of the church. You can't help but notice that as you begin to travel the busy town streets, people are watching you walk the coffin maker, and they could see that some kind of fight, something had happened. The collapse of the section of roof had definitely brought curious onlookers. But what's interesting is that a group of town guards are kind of clustered near the center of town, around the area where you guys are kind of walking towards the church. You can already see Father, the priest, Father Lucian, Lucian, kind of walking out of the front of the church. He sees you with the coffin maker in front of him. Already you could see the filthy, kind of dirt-covered gravedigger boy who has now come out of the graveyard area, is slowly approaching the priest and kind of nods towards the priest and nods towards the coffin maker. You guys kind of guide the coffin maker up the long stairs to the priest. All of you standing there. The priest kind of looking at you, Zoof, as you clearly have the burlap sack of bones. He's almost able to sense that you have them. There's a strange kind of hesitating pause as you can now see 6 of the Burgomaster's guards kind of working up the nerve to begin approaching the front of the steps. But they patiently wait down near the front as all of you arrive in front of the priest, with the coffin maker in tow as well. The priest looking at all of you. Well, it would appear that you've had some success. Were you able to recover the bones, perhaps?
Indeed. Well, my brothers and I have recovered the bones, and a bit more, which merits discussion and some distribution of justice, may I say. May we handle the affair of reconsecrating the resting place and placing the bones first.
I think that would be wise. Shall I hand over the coffin maker to the Burgomaster's guards then, and then we could focus on reconsecrating the bones?
What I would like to speak to the guards as well. Let's bring him in as well, the coffin maker. We can hold on to Heinrich a bit longer.
Of course. Milovich, if you would, let the guards know that we are going to take care of our requirements first. They are to linger out front here. We'll talk to them in a moment. The young boy looks up at the priest, shakes his head, goes down the stairs to go talk to the guards. All of you end up going into the interior of the church. Here, you can see that the altar has already been pulled aside, repair work being done to the damage of the boards that the boy had kind of broken open. Clearly, the priest was eager, hopeful, but the stone stairs leading down into the tomb are available.
Father Lucian, I will need 7 candles and incense.
Of course. He quickly walks up to the altar, opens up a wooden box, pulls the candles and incense out, hands them over to you, Zoof.
So I go back down to the resting place where the bones should be and light the candles and place them in a sort of ritualistic pattern. I light the incense and gather up the bones. Father Lucian, I want you to understand this song and the chants that go with the ceremony are only in Loxodon. I am only permitted by Hesiod to sing them in the sacred language. So I want you to be fully aware.
Of course. I trust you and your friends. Do what you must do.
So that I go about the sort of ritual and the chants and the incense and over the bones and this and that, and taking about 10 or 15 minutes and getting the bones in there and finishing up with the ritual.
While Zoof is doing that, Gartham will keep an eye, or Gartham and Eric the Cleric will keep an eye on Henrik. Lucian and Ludolf, what are you two doing?
I'll have the cat post nearby to look around. And
Nocturne.
Correct. And Lucian will take a short rest if he can.
Okay.
Yeah, I will join you in that short rest. Well, one thing in particular you might notice about Ludolf is that he hasn't fully changed back into his human form. He's still like a little hairier. He's not like totally wolf-like, but he exudes a sort of wild energy to him. And he is multi-class as a druid now. So.
Oh, cool!
Oh!
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, so he's just sort of sitting and panting.
I love it. Zoof, it's strange. There must be some kind of truth about this place. During the ritual, you feel a very kind of divine connection with the bones. As the bones are ceremonially replaced back into the tomb where they were being held within the sarcophagus, and as you place the sarcophagus lid back on top and then arrange the candles and incense, you can't help but notice that with each candle and incense that you prepare to be lit, they seem to light of their own accord. They just kind of... And as they light, you quickly watch as the golden warmth of the candle and the smell of the incense begin to just kind of pervasively shift through the tomb that you're in. You watch as a kind of divine glow begins to slowly ebb from the sarcophagus and kind of very slowly and gradually move out into the interior of the tomb, move up the stairs, while Lucian and Ludolf are kind of resting and kind of recovering from the ordeal at the coffin maker's house. Eventually, Ireena and her brother show up. They immediately can't help but notice that the interior of the foyer and the interior of the church begins to kind of almost brighten. The edge of the veneer of the place that seems so dilapidated and showing so much wear and tear on the church slowly begins to kind of almost disappear of its own accord. Not exactly a sense of it being new or fully restored, but the grim kind of shadowy and rundown effect of the church seems to dissipate slowly. The divine energy and glow of the church, there's a rather sudden ebb of that energy that blossoms out from the church. It seems to blossom briefly into the interior of the town and then slowly fade. Zoof, you recognize that these are the traditional effects of a very powerful spell called the Hollow spell. This hollow effect, meaning that fiends and undead can no longer enter into the church. You've restored the haven, the safe haven of this town, and now this kind of divine permanent presence because the bones have been restored, are now calling out to the interior of the town as well.
Let's see. Just linking that info.
Ludolf and Dreamweaver, go ahead and mark off a short rest if you'd like.
Okay. Hallowed. Hyperlinking in my notes the hollow stone. So I come back up from the vault, and it's like the altar seals it or slides over it, right?
Yeah. There's like a hidden trapdoor in the floor. The altar is a very kind of like simple wooden facade that can be moved over on top of the trapdoor. You could tell that the priest was doing repairs to what the crowbar damage had done by the young Vallakovich, who had, apologized and confessed to the priest. Once you come up from below, you can simply close the trapdoor, pull the altar back over the trapdoor. The moment that you do that, you feel that last burst of radiant kind of divine light pulse out one last time as the hollow effect adheres now to the sense of the protection of the church.
No! And I walk over to Heinrich and I lift him up over my shoulder. To justice! I'm just lumbering,
The guards patiently waiting out front. One of the larger guards looks up and goes, "By my lords and gods, you are a big fella. So, you got a package for me. Would you like me to take possession of this man, take him to the Burgomaster?"
With the knowledge that he is in league with dark forces that would disturb the holiness of the Festival of the Sun, expressly breaking the town's laws, the holiness of the event, and the sanctity of this place, not to mention the whole town, he seems to have been in league with a stranger Valish, a nobleman, delivering him vampire spawn, which my brethren and I have vanquished, over at the Coffin Maker's business. He has paid the young grave diggers here to steal the bones, and we have returned them. But I need to give you a full explanation of his crimes so that justice can be meted out effectively and fairly.
Of course, I can't help but see that your justice is complete. My men made a quick investigation of the Coffin Maker's home. We noticed that there seemed to be some kind of fight that took place inside, but yet no evidence of what was fought with.
That would be the vampire spawn vanquished by the sun that we let in through the roof.
The guards exchange nervous looks with the captain. The captain has a profound kind of confused look on his face, but then immediately tells the other guards to hush. I understand. Well, the Burgomaster. We shall put him in the stockade, and then we shall wait for the Burgomaster's justice to be placed upon this interesting fellow. Me and mine would like to kindly thank you for what you've done. Men, take possession of the prisoner to the stockade with him. I shall proceed to the Burgomaster's house and explain these charges to him. Well done, gentle priest. Well done. With that, they take Heinrich They immediately place him up onto the platform into the stockade. You watch as the captain eventually drifts further down into the town, heading towards one of the more larger structures, possibly the Burgomaster's mansion. It is now late afternoon. The town seems to be drifting back to normal. As normal as it can. What would you guys like to do next?
We have Tatiana here.
What? Sorry, what?
You mean Ireena?
Ireena, correct.
Yeah, she's there with her brother.
So do we leave her in the church for safekeeping?
Her brother looks over at you, Lucian. I believe that was the intent. And now that the protection and sanctity of this place was restored, I think it is wise to leave her here with the priest.
Then, where shall we stay in town? Should we find a place?
The priest kind of steps up. I believe the only place to stay in town, of course, is the Blue Water Inn right over there. It has both a tavern and can provide lodging as well. Whether or not they have room or not, I could not say. There's a family that owns the place, the Martikov family. The patron of the family goes by the name of Erwin Martikov. Make your introductions to him. I'm sure he will gladly give you lodging.
Thank you very much.
Perhaps we should ask him about that nobleman, Boris.
Lucian creates a small minor image of the description of the nobleman in front of him. Do you recognize somebody like this nobleman?
You do that in front of the priest?
Correct, but not in front of everyone. Just
Right. You kind of gather him back into the church, like the foyer of the church, having handed off Henrik to the guards. The priest stares for a moment and says, "That gentleman is known to me. He paid a visit to my church maybe 2-3 days ago before seeking counsel with Heinrich. He went by the name of Vasily von Holtz. He seemed to be a proprietor or merchantman, but gave no additional information beyond that. He even seemed to think I think he was in the business of wine or winemaking, although I was not entirely sure. You think he is connected to these things?"
possibly could be the same individual. You know where he went after he visited the church?
The only thing I can remember from those days ago is he went to the coffin makers. Beyond that, I'm not sure where else he went to.
I see.
Vasily von Holtz.
Maybe the innkeeper would know.
They call him Ali. So maybe a nickname.
Is it nonsensical or not appropriate that Zoof might conclude that it could be linked to Strahd, or it could be Strahd himself in disguise, or...
I mean, it's possible.
Strahd minion.
If not a minion, the vampire himself, is it not in the lore of these creatures that they take on various appearances for their guises, and going out in the sun might give him his sickly appearance and make him look pale? He would not have his full strength in such conditions if he was wandering around when it was not night.
So he could wander around in partial daylight if he's prepared.
Is that not the way of vampires? Those that aren't spawn, that they possess a strength beyond their normal ilk?
Possibly. This is all new to me.
Father Lucian, what say you?
I don't know enough about vampires to say one way or the other. I do know that the spawn are said to be weaker. Those that sire them are said to be stronger. I don't know if I'm prepared to assume that this baron that overwatches our town is nothing more than a sickly old man who wishes to spread his power across the land any way that he can. If he is more than that, well, there are more informed people than myself to make those decisions. Both Ireena and her brother exchange glances, look at the priest, look at all of you. Ireena kind of steps forward. I have no doubt of what he is. Whether or not he is in league with the Baron or is the Baron himself, that I do not know for certain. Some say he is, some say he's not. But when me, my brother, and my father fought off his undead minions so many days and weeks ago, taking my stepfather's life, I am certain, while they may or may not be one and the same, they are definitely working in league with each other.
I'd be surprised if he was up to such trickery himself.
What is a weakness of a vampire? Is it water? Is it wooden stakes? Is it garlic? Is it something else?
Well, my understanding of all undead creatures, they are very vulnerable to anything of radiant. If you have any form of divinity or power of radiant nature, I believe that does them great harm. While the sunlight may outright kill demon or vampire spawn, I do not believe that is the case for the more stronger vampires. I think the sun weakens them, causes them not to be regenerative. I do believe that such items like holy water and things made of silver are able to cause great harm or damage to them as well. But I believe that myth and superstition has made their weaknesses confusing to most. I do not think that a stake through the heart kills them instantly. I believe the destruction of their heart prevents them from regenerating back to their former selves. Now, my understanding, however, is that when a vampire is killed, they will turn to a cloud of silvery ash and return to their coffin to where they can regenerate and reform. To prevent that from happening, you must destroy their heart, therefore destroying them completely. Vampire spawn have not been given the gift of immortality quite yet. They must feed relentlessly. They must consume and prepare their strength to obtain the threshold of what a true vampire is capable of. The question is, who were these poor unfortunate souls that were made into vampire spawn, and where did they come from?
Could they be part of the original battle with Ireena and the father?
Could be. But I suspect the unfortunate souls that have crossed this land in hopes of defeating the Baron and his minions may have become, well, fodder for the desert, as they might say.
Do we have a stash of holy water? More items?
Aye, now that the bones have been restored in the divine reverence of the church, before you leave town, come see me. I will have plenty of holy water to give you and your friends.
Thank you. We will.
Eric the Cleric looks at the priest. Quite right. I'll get started on that right away. Kind of grabs a bag of empty vials, begins to go over and retrieve well water, and begins the ritual of sanctifying the water, as Eric the Cleric is now beginning the process of making holy water for everybody.
What's his face again? Yeah, I'm forgetting all the characters' names here.
Well, currently
There's
Ireena and her brother.
Her brother. That's what I needed. Yeah.
Yeah. Ireena's brother is.
What the heck is his name again?
Is Mark.
Ismark.
So Ismark and Ireena are with you. The priest is with you. Gartham is out looking about at the moment. Eric the Cleric is making holy water. And the rest of the town seems to be just kind of going about with its business.
Brother Ismark, will you be joining us as your sister returns to the re-sanctified church?
I hesitate to leave my sister here. I'm not entirely sure, but if you would prefer my company, I am unaware as to where we shall proceed to next.
We were heading to the inn. I'm sure that we'll be able to find more about the goings-on from the townspeople.
Ismark kind of glances at the priest and then glances at the three of you. Perhaps we could speak in private.
Let's go speak in a corner.
Yeah, he gathers up the three of you over into the corner of the church. Do you and your friends intend to confront the Baron directly? I feel that as long as he lives, my sister will continue to be threatened by him.
Are we outside or are we...
No, you're in a corner of the church by yourselves with Ismark. So it's just Ludolf, Dreamweaver, Zoof, and Ismark in the corner of the church, just kind of privately talking currently.
Do we get the sense that he's being controlled like a puppet, or it's actually a human under his own volition?
You can give me an insight check on that. Well, what's your passive insight, Dreamweaver?
16.
That's high enough. You get the feeling that he's genuine. He's
right.
Confused as to what to do next. I mean, obviously, leaving Monrovia, the journey to get through the Salvage Forest, and now the arrival in Vallaki, the reestablishment of the church and its sacrament. He's trying to think ahead. He's trying to think about what to do next, and he's genuinely unsure what to do next.
I think if you stay here and guard your sister, you'll be safe in the church.
I understand, but that doesn't answer the question. Do you and your friends intend to confront the Baron directly?
I think we'll do whatever it takes to keep her safe.
That I understand. Good. I think the real heart of the matter is the fortune teller that gave your friend Gartham all that information. Do we feel that that information is trustworthy, or do we feel that information may have been, how should we say, placed on the table on purpose?
That's an excellent question. And sometimes you get guided down a path, and sometimes you can take control of that path, perhaps.
I'm wondering, there is a woman in town. She is responsible for it's a place. It's called the Wachter House. She is a wealthy noblewoman of the town. She may have influence and she may have information. She goes by the name of Lady Fiona Wachter. Perhaps she could guide us. Of course, we could always perhaps reach out to Baron Vargas Vallakovich as well, the Burgomaster of the town, see if he might have insights as well. The priest had already pointed us towards the Blue Water Inn. I think if there was any opportunity to learn more, well, there's always an opportunity to get people drunk and figure out what the musings are of the people of this town. There is no possibility of them not to recognize that the town is going to get a breath of relief now. The divinity of the church is restored. They're going to notice this, and we should take advantage of it. I will press the priest for more information, see if we can't learn more. They'll take the musings of Gartham to him, and while Eric the Cleric is making holy water for future possession, I know it is quite a strange name, I will press our advantages here and maybe even take Eric the Cleric and Gartham out into town and see if we can't learn some things about this nobleman that made the delivery to the coffin maker. But I think the three of you should begin to make your own inquiries. Use what you've earned here, the trust and the intrigue of those in town. See what their offerings are.
Be discreet in your investigation.
I shall.
And don't be afraid to retreat back to safety.
Of course. I understand. Well, good luck to you, and shall we meet, let's say, later on this evening? Blue Water Inn, discuss our findings before settling into the night.
We will see you there.
He kind of nods towards all of you. He smiles, goes over to his sister. Him and his sister begin to speak with Eric the Cleric, and you watch as Gartham comes back into the church and joins up with them as well. They grab some nearby satchels off some hooks, their cloaks, gather up their weapons among them, and you watch as the small party drifts out into the busyness of the town. It's now late afternoon. The three of you linger in front of the church. Heinrich is in the stockade. What would you guys like to do? You have maybe 4 or 5 hours until dark.
Gonna throw tomatoes at Heinrich.
You watch as like a gaggle of the Vallaki kids go running up to the stockade, and they start throwing cabbage and lettuce and rotten fruit, and one of them walks over to like an old rotten barrel of trash, starts pulling out rotted food, and they're just cackling and laughing as they're pelting Heinrich with detritus and garbage.
Oh, I'm definitely joining them.
Ludolf comes and goes, yeah! And he starts doing it. Immediately, the kids all look at Ludolf and they scream in terror and run off.
I enjoy the salad, Heinrich.
Let's find Lady Fiona.
Oh, you want to go to Lady Fiona first? Okay.
Or someone else. I mean, I thought we would end the night at the inn.
Makes sense.
The Wachter house.
If we went to the inn, he might have information about that nobleman. But at least, well, we got a couple.
True.
Okay.
Both of them. All right. Let's head to the Blue Water then.
With that, you guys head over to the Blue Water Inn, and it is a pretty lively place. There's a sense that this is where people come to kind of drown the bleakness of the town. You can see clusters of people dressed in what could only be described as hunter's garb, or folks that would range out into the wilds of the woods. You could see fisher folk that are here. You could see farmers and those that would herd sheep and cattle. This town although under the shadow of the darkness of the area, is trying to fight back. There's a sense that this place is the remaining heart of the town, kind of a gathering point of individuals that might take an interest in either the rumors of the town or even possibly fighting back. Some people stare at you with fear. Some people stare at you with curiosity. But a gentle-looking man behind a bar sees the three of you come in, and immediately a broad smile on his face. He is got a mixed black and gray beard. He is wearing the attire of a noble person, or at least a family with wealth. He smiles broadly. My friends, please, come in. I am Martikov, Orman Martikov. Please, enter. Please, gentle folk. Allow them through, if you would, please. He watches the crowd begins to kind of part, the three of you, kind of like pushing your way through the crowd up towards the bar. Crowd kind of settles down a little bit more. Well, it is very good to meet you. I'm very honored to meet you. My children are busy in the back in the kitchen with their mother. I had heard from the guards that you lot had confronted Heinrich over at his establishment. A confrontation that took place that allowed the re-establishment of the priests' protection of the church. Am I to understand this to be correct?
You are
Yes,
correct.
Excellent. Please, sit down. The least I can do is get you our famous family wine, some food, and are you in need of lodging this evening?
We are. Are you Erwin?
Yes, I am Erwin Martikov.
Wonderful to meet you.
Of course, it's wonderful to meet you. He bends down graciously and then looks back up. Please, on the third floor, take the room at the end of the hallway. He slides a brass key over to you, Dreamweaver. But please sit first. Food, wine. You've traveled far and you look like you've had a busy day.
Greatly appreciated.
Now, what can Master Martikov do for the likes of the three of you? How can I help?
You know anything about Vasily von Holtz?
Vasily von Holtz. He was a nobleman that came nosing around here some days ago, maybe even almost a week ago, and was making inquiries in regards to my father's winery. He was interested in buying up the remaining stock, as well as taking over the production of the wine as well. Of course, I told him that Erwin Martikov would not sell out underneath my father's good name, and that he should, pass on somewhere else. I believe I sent him in the direction of the priest. He had questions for the priest. After that, I have no knowledge of what happened to him.
I see.
Could you describe his appearance?
Quite tall, long braided black hair, no facial hair, which is unusual for folk of this land. So perhaps he was not from around here, although he spoke as if he was very familiar with the place. I have no memory of how he got here. He simply was here. He had very dark brown eyes. He carried a very stern look about him, and come to think of it, he had quite the sickly complexion, and almost kind of a man who never sees the regular day of the sun.
And yet it was day when you saw him.
It was quite.
You
What
put
about
him in wine? Sorry.
Say that again, Ludolf?
Your daddy, he makes wine, yeah?
Yes, my father, he is known as the one of the best wine makers of wine. He owns a distillery, place of where you make wine, called the Wizard of Wines. He is located outside of town, quite a ways away. But yes, that is where I get the wine from.
Oh, yeah, keeping it all in the family, I see.
It's really good.
Well, trying to, that is. Trying to.
It's good wine. I love it. Can I have some more?
Have you ever heard
He kind of
Strahd?
looks around. He kind of looks at you and he looks around. May I confide a secret with the three of you? Perhaps this is maybe something you might find yourselves capable of assisting old Erwin in. Unfortunately, this is the last bottle that I have. For some reason, over the course of the last 7 to 10 days, I have received no more shipments from my father. I was about to put together a small group of individuals to check in on my father, but with the darkness of the road and with what has been happening, I did not feel it was safe to travel. I was wondering, if I provide you with free food and lodging, perhaps you and your friends can head south, check on my father, and see if everything is okay.
I think we would be willing to do that.
Not more than a day's journey, I promise you, south of town.
This is a fair trade. This is a fair exchange.
Excellent. It has been kind of distressful not knowing what had happened to these wine shipments. Perhaps bandits or something has happened. I would have expected to receive word from my father at some point, but the fact that I have not received word, I fear that maybe something has happened. But it is difficult to move through the forest. It's difficult to safely feel. I don't really want to leave my family behind and take such a risk.
We also were interested in calling upon Lady Wachter. Would you happen to know of her?
Lady Wachter.
Lady Fiona Wachter.
Yes, I know that she is a noble woman within this town. While my family has the wealth to run this establishment and the wealth of the Wizard of Wines behind it, it is odd. No one really understands where her wealth comes from, but she is in an estate not too far from here, near the Burgomaster's estate as well. She is, well, he looks around. I believe she dabbles in the arcane or things of magic. She keeps a familiar with her, a little pseudo-dragon, I believe. Little red pseudo-dragon. She can be quite off-putting when in a conversation, but I believe she does have the best interest of the town in mind, although she does keep strange hours. I won't lie about that. Occasionally she pays a visit, but unfortunately her last visit here, I had to tell her that I was pretty much out of the wine, and she has not come back since.
May I ask as well? Oh, please.
From time to time, you can see her wandering town.
We also wanted to call upon the Burgomaster, given the aid we've given to the town, and I, of course, am excited for the upcoming festival.
Yes,
Would you know about seeing him, procedures, sort of protocol?
The Burgomaster, yes. Listen, Baron Vargas Vallakovich and his wife are, well, some say they've gone completely mad. The decrees that Baron Vargas has been putting out lately are one that could only assume paranoia has set in. They rarely come out anymore. This Festival of the Blazing Sun has been nothing more than a way for him to assert his authority over the town. Can you imagine passing a decree in these dark times, insisting that if you speak poorly or show no signs of respect for the festival, you can simply be locked up in the stockade? That seems a bit much to me.
Certainly we would want faith, devotion, and honor to be genuine, yes.
And he has a bodyguard that keeps him quite safe. His bodyguard goes by the name of Izik Strasny, a rather, well, foul-looking individual. Some say he's half ogre and half human. Some say he's not even human at all. He rarely is seen not being at the side of the Baron, but I'd warn you, they are difficult folk to deal with. But I could get you a letter of introduction if you'd like to meet with them.
If you would, that would be most helpful.
Strahd, come here. You watch as a young teenage girl kind of comes in. Yes, father. I need you to take a letter to the Baron. Let him know that he can expect guests. Would you like to see him this evening, this afternoon, or on the morrow? Your choice.
Brother Ludolf, Brother Lucian, would you care to go this evening to the Burgomaster or Lady Fiona?
They live right next door to each other. You know what? Right, maybe we could just pop on both.
Oh, very efficient-minded of you, very efficient-minded. Brother Lucian, what say you?
I say Lady Fiona.
If you would, Master Martikov, if you tell the Burgomaster to expect us within the next day or two.
Well, of course. Strahd, please take the message. Within the next day or two, they can expect to get a visit from Master Zoof, Master Dreamweaver, and Master Ludolf as well, and anyone in their party or accompaniment. Of course, Father, I'll send it directly. She quickly writes it out on a piece of rolled up parchment and heads out the door.
Well, shall we? Trying to get up and remove the chair from my bottom area because they always swing because it's too large.
Like pops off.
Big butt.
That feeling.
Well, I just would like to say thank you once again. It would appear that we are all on the same side. And know this, if you find yourself in any particular situation of disquiet, just let me know what is upon you, and I will gladly aid you in what you need.
Thank you once again for such a warm welcome.
He puts his hands together and looks at the three of you. Wherever the light is darkest, it's only dark because there is no light. When you return the light to the darkness will shed, and only the light will remain. And then he hands Zoof, he'll hand Zoof a raven's feather. Keep this with you. It is a token of me and mine.
Oh.
It's like the smartest thing that anybody's ever said to me. I don't even remember what he said. The night is dark. It's dark. No, I should have wrote it down.
With that, the three of you
I don't know how to write.
yeah.
That's right.
I only know how to color words, not write them. The three of you wander out into the late afternoon streets. You look to your right and left. On one corner of the street, you can see where the Burgomaster's estate is. And then a little bit further down that street, you can see where Lady Fiona Wachter's estate is. It would seem that the nicer places are kind of built together down one particular area of the town, while the remainder of the town is more kind of lower middle class domiciles, like almost very simple Tudor style structures, thatched roofing with lumber and stone mixed bases to the houses. Once again, this town looks like it's seen better days, and even though it's late afternoon, it might as well be almost nighttime. It's just this perpetual feeling of just dusk every time you wander the streets.
It's always dark out.
Almost as if you're never really traveling here in the daylight anymore.
You think it's different from when we first got here, or it's just always kind of gloomy, or is it getting?
It's just always kind of gloomy. It's always kind of. The sun never, like, that moment that you were in the fight with the vampire spawn, you're not even sure why the sun was able to, like, press through the gloom, but something at that moment really allowed a bath, like this bathing of sunlight, to make its way into the interior of the coffin maker's attic area. Just, whether it was timing or something to do with the bones, you're not entirely sure. But there was a definite sense that was odd, because every other time that you meander these streets or your journey through the forest, your time in Bonrovia itself, it always feels like this perpetual twilight, this dusk, this just kind of sense of gloom.
Mm-hmm.
All of which is kind of, centered around the fact that there's always at night, this continual fog or mist that rests upon wherever you go. And then during the day, almost as if that mist and fog then lingers in the air, causing the gloom to kind of settle into wherever you walk. Every now and then you'll see a brief glimmer of sunlight that quickly gets washed over with the kind of gloom of the clouds.
So you're saying we're in Oregon, right?
Just in Seattle.
Well, the English translation for Bonrovia is northwest.
As we walk along, I'll throw up some dancing lights every now and then to cheer up at least people around us.
Yeah, you guys definitely earned a reputation already while being in town. You get the feeling that two things happen quickly here. Rumors spread quite quickly, and the truth of those rumors then turn into myth almost overnight. And while Dreamweaver is kind of dancing these little globules of light as the three of you begin to head down the street towards the Lady Fiona's estate, you can overhear people kind of chatting or talking, kind of gawking as you go by. You can even see the other group. You can see Gartham and Eric the Cleric and Ireena and Ismark off talking to a rather large crowd of people, laughing. And they're over by where the big wicker sun effigy is in the middle of town. And they seem to be talking to people that are either drifting by or are eager to talk to the people that did whatever accomplishment had happened over at the Coffin Makers. Whether or not that has created an air of excitement around the idea that there are people here that are willing to do something about what's going on, it's also created a bit of an air of nervousness, almost as if, when you do that, the light of inquiry shines upon those that are kind of rocking the boat at the same time. So there's this pervasive tension of possible fear and repercussion. There's also this pervasive feeling of relief that somebody else is beginning to take an interest in undoing whatever is going on here.
Interesting.
It leads the three of you to the front of a garden path. Garden is using the word mildly. Rusted old iron wrought fence with a gate that sits partially open. A kind of swerving serpentine gravel path that winds its way through an overgrown and rotting garden. Up towards a set of stone stairs that lead up to the front stoop and estate of a 3-story mansion. This 3-story mansion you could see is a slightly dilapidated, but you could see a kind of gardener amongst the garden doing his best to try to coax the garden back into life, and seems both exhausted and nervous about what he's doing. You could also see a caretaker kind of dealing with the horse and carriage off in the gravel drive up into the carriage house. Here on the porch, sitting in a very large chair overlooking her garden, you could see a woman. She is, well, she is quite interesting to look at. She's old. She's got a strange creature stooped up on her shoulder. It seems to be whispering into her ear. Her eyes were closed, but then her eyes begin to flutter. They open, almost like she was maybe napping or settling into a nap. She eyes the three of you at the beginning of her garden path. She looks up. Well, are you just going to stand there, or are you going to join me for a bit of afternoon tea?
Lucian produces a small illusion of a red dragon like she has as a gift.
Her eyebrow arcs up slightly and she smiles. Well, always nice to meet another maker of the arcane magics. What is your name, dear boy?
He does a overly complex introduction. My name is Lucian.
Well, please join me for tea if you would.
He tries to get his cape noticed with the cosmic symbols on it, like playing it up a little bit, and then he sits down.
And you, Master Priest, what is your name?
I am no priest, but I am a servant of Hesiod the Sun Lord.
Oh, my mistake. You see, my knowledge is of arcane magic. I assume anybody in the realm of divine is simply a priest. My mistake. You know what? You're quite large. Malcolm, Malva, please fetch the larger couch for the porch, if you would, please. You watch as these two older men kind of struggle with this kind of homemade, handmade kind of couch-like piece of furniture, and they come up and they set it down on the porch. They kind of gloomily look at their feet after doing it, and one of them looks at Fiona. Be anything else, mistress? Oh no, run along, run along. Fetch tea and snacks for us, if you would, please. Of course, mistress. Shall do so, shall do so. Two of them disappear to the interior of the estate. And young woodsman there, what is your name?
Oh, don't mind me, my lady. I'm Ludolf. As you say, I'm just a woodsman. And I'm sort of looking over her estate, just kind of, I don't know, just admiring her gardening ability.
Are you back in your full human form yet, or are you still hybrid?
No, I'm in my human form, but I'm just a little bit more wolf-like now. My beard goes a little higher on my face. My fingernails are more like claws. They're a little more pointed.
Love it. Give me perception with advantage, if you would, please.
I love your garden. I like when people let things grow wild. Let's see. Perception?
Yep.
That is 21.
Nice. There is, like, as you look around and you go to join your friends up on the patio to join Lady Fiona for tea and what some would call late lunch, early dinner, depending on perspective. Her garden has a rather distinct scent of rot. Like that, kind of like the smell of compost. That earthy detritus with a bit of the kind of sliminess that comes with the slowly rotting vegetation that's all kind of folded up into compost. You also notice, with your own kind of instinctive understanding of the natural world, the futility of what the gardener is doing. Almost as if the gardener has no idea how to garden or how to manage the garden. He's just kind of got this crude wooden rake with very poorly manufactured kind of thin fronds on the end of it, designed to kind of shift and move the soil around, almost as if he's just kind of mindlessly doing a kind of repetitive bit of work. And it's at that moment you kind of sit down, kind of like, and then you begin to give your assessment of the garden to Lady Fiona, and Lady Fiona looks at you. Oh, a fellow lover of nature as well. Well, me and my friend, we do admire our garden when we could take opportunities to watch it, well, do what it does best. Now that the three of you are here, tea is served. You watch as a big tray with cups and a teapot on it, along with little kind of sweets and crackers and bits of pastries are on the tray as well. The three of you can't help notice that the person that brings out the tray is very nervous. Their hands are kind of shaking as they set the tray down. Yes, that'll be enough. Now leave us. And Lady Fiona just puts on this kind of smile that just a smile of a lizard that just got done eating the last fly of the world, and then just kind of sniffs at the air and looks at the three of you. Now, how can old Lady Fiona help the three heroes of Vallaki?
The heroes. First off, my trunk goes a little towards the tray and sniffs. I don't take anything up to eat, but I'm sniffing to see if I notice anything suspicious or odd about.
Yeah, give me perception with advantage on that one.
Oof. With advantage.
Usually a second one rolls. Oh, maybe I have to hit it again. There's the other one.
Well, you can just watch me because I'm eating it wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Like, you start sniffing at it, Zoof, and you can already hear the sound of Ludolf like crunching and eating the food. Yeah. Lady Fiona smiles and begins to pour the tea, and you watch as she pops a cookie into her mouth and begins to sip at the tea as well. You watch as the winged pseudo-dragon on her shoulder kind of leaps up into the rafters of the porch and kind of just settles into the idea of just kind of watching all of you sitting on the porch having food and drink.
Lady Fiona, why is Barovia so gloom and glum?
Well, Master Dreamweaver, I think it's all in the eye of the beholder. These have been said to be quite dark times, and if you don't mind me saying, I think it is our current Burgomaster that is the problem. Baron Vargas has become, well, quite addled and paranoid. Some even say he might be cursed. And this curse is festering the land of the Vallaki, and his curse extends out all the way to Barovia itself. Some even say the watcher of the counts of the castle, this baron that sits in the castle, has from time to time even made attempts to make alliance with the Burgomaster.
I wouldn't think that a Burgomaster would have that much power to influence the whole land.
Yes, well, I think it's less about who he is and the curse that lays upon him. Who knows? Maybe his final undoing would lift the curse and bring us a sense of normalcy.
Do you think that attempt to lift the curse has something to do with this upcoming Sun Festival? Isn't that a good thing?
Well, one would think that it's a good thing, but you must understand, the Burgomaster has gone quite insane. This silly little festival is nothing more than to regain the confidence of the people. And let me be clear, the people's confidence is quite eroded. I find myself from time to time having to travel amongst the people and reassure them that everything will be fine. They just need to be patient. And, well, needless to say, they find me to be more reliable, I think. My family's been here longer, and, well, we care far more for this town than the current Burgomaster does. And the Baron seems to have decided that whether or not you agree with him, he simply lays down the law, forcing you to agree with him. Now, does that sound like a man who has the town's real best interest?
That's a good point. Since your family's been here so long, how did they make their fortune?
Oh, well, one does not kiss and tell and reveal their sense of wealth, as they might say. But needless to say, lumber has been good to my family. And, well, we have on occasion made partnerships with merchants that have traveled through town from time to time. My good friend, a nobleman, was here some week ago. We had made discussions about procuring the Wizard of Wines, and our hope is to yet establish ourselves with Erwin Martikov and, well, expand the influence of my family. You see, I am always looking out for this town, always wondering what I could better it for, and she throws a glance up at her familiar and glances back at the three of you, doing what's hard to do, knowing that it's in the best interest of the town to do it, if you catch my meaning.
With the enterprising partner that you were speaking with, was it a certain Vasily von Holtz?
You know Vasily. Excellent. Yes, he is a traveling merchant. I engaged him some weeks ago to begin to look into procuring the Wizard of Wines. I've not heard back from him since, nor have I heard of any further wine shipments making it to the Blue Water Inn. But the roads are dark, strange things mill about and walk those roads. Who knows? Something may have happened.
I think we may be paying a visit to the Wizard of Wine.
Oh.
Make this go away and solve it.
Paying a visit to the Wizard of Wines. Fascinating. Well, far be it from me to tell you what to do otherwise. I was curious. Are you, after what you accomplished over at the coffin maker's house, I was wondering, your sense of duty and your sense of benefiting this town. Is this something that you feel compelled to do? Or are you willing to do for a small fee? Because I may have some thoughts for you.
We are always looking to help, but what thoughts do you have?
Well, personally, the Burgomaster is someone that I feel is not trustworthy. And I would think it's in the best interest of this town if the Burgomaster were to, well, be revealed as someone who is not trustworthy. That will weaken his power greatly and give my family an opportunity to seek reward for such revelations. After all, you took care of Henrik without any predisposition of expectation. What say you? Shall you make inquiries into the Burgomaster for me? And if you find your lives threatened, of course, take the well-meaning self-defense that's required in case your lives are threatened.
Inquire with whom?
With the Burgomaster, of course.
Oh, and bring you back evidence of his madness, of his decline.
Well, revelations of his madness and decline.
Mhm.
Evidence is certainly grateful, but I must admit, he's quite unstable. If you were to be caught by him, well, him and his malformed companion may feel the need to, well, defend themselves as well. Although egregious it would be, and I assure you, if they tried to defend themselves, for them, well, it'd be of madness. Dangerous folk and all.
When you spoke with that certain what the hell was his name again? Von Holtz.
Yes.
What do you have a long acquaintance with him?
Oh, long enough to trust him with some opportunities of making money. I don't see the importance of this person. Why do you continue to make such inquiries?
He seems to be a rather large figure. He was involved in the... Well, to say it was a favor would be insulting. I reconsecrated the church with the bones of St. Andral after this Vasily von Holtz was apparently putting the coffin maker up to a sort of plan to ruin the festival with vampire spawn. Deconsecrating the church, stealing away the town's protection and holiness, all for this sort of murderous darkness, Lady Fiona. And you are an acquaintance? You are friends? You are partners? Are you... What exactly is your relationship? It would cast into doubt anything I'd be willing to do for you and any sort of impression I'd have of you.
What's your passive insight, Zoof?
My passive insight is so high. It's 14. I don't know.
14? That would be anybody with a passive insight of 12 or higher would notice that her eyes narrow a bit, her mouth becomes firm and kind of a little bit grim and stern. Well, that would be unfortunate if it was completely true. I'm sure Heinrich is to blame for all the meddling that's gone on over at the coffin maker's house. But, you'll have to excuse me. She stands up, kind of on awkward legs that barely allow her to reach over for her cane. She leans heavily on her cane. She then looks up at the creature up in the rafters. Child, with me. The small creature jumps off the rafters onto the shoulders of Lady Fiona. Feel free to finish your tea and your cakes. I must attend to some other accord. Deeply sorry. It's something that I forgot. Well,
I stand on her leaving, of course, because it's a lady that's leaving.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. She gets up. The door creaks open. And she disappears into the interior of a estate, leaving the three of you alone on the patio. The other caretakers, you can hear them dealing with the horses in the carriage, the gardener out in the garden. But for now, it's just the three of you on the estate patio.
I turn to Lucian, and no offense, Ludolf.
What?
And I quietly say, foul woman, foul relationships. People using people against each other. That's what this woman is about. And of course, Martikov we seem to be sinking into some sort of quicksand of vengeance and profit and darkness. And I'm sure that this Von Holtz is not who he says he is if he's not the Baron himself, stirring trouble for these poor-hearted people, these wretches.
These people are living a nightmare. And I think we need to provide them some adequate sleep at some point. If we talk to the Burgomaster, what are the odds the Burgomaster doesn't like this lady and wants a similar repose? We'll have to see. More information is needed.
To the Burgomaster, then.
To the Burgomaster, but I believe her association with Von Holtz, it's been a long time, as she states, but maybe not. We'll see.
Taking my lead, we
We
certainly.
get scrying on us or watching us.
I'm gonna.
There's
gather
always,
cookies.
I mean, you're outside the church. You just kind of, that's a feeling that you just always have. Whether it's true or not, it's always like there at the edge of your mind.
All right. We're always in a fish tank of some sort. Let's go next door to the Burgomaster, the unhappy neighbor.
You guys get up off the porch, walk down the garden path out into the road. You go down maybe.
Brother Ludolf.
I would like to gather up the last of the cookies.
Ludolf picks up the last dozen or so of the cookies and
It's very
puts them
important.
inside his leather bag.
I'm putting it in my inventory.
Before long, a few moments walking down the street, you find yourself in front of the Burgomaster's estate. It's slightly bigger, slightly grander than Fiona's. The garden here is a little bit more well manicured. It's grim, but not nearly as rotted and run down as Fiona's. These estates seem to all have this same kind of footprint or look about them, almost as if they're using them as a statement of the wealth or power of their family. The Burgomaster's house is intended to be in possession of the family that runs the town. Here you can see the standard and colors of the town kind of waving from a series of banners off the front of the Burgomaster's estate. There's also a contingent of guards here that keep an eye on both the entrance as well as the different ways to get access to the Burgomaster. A guard captain immediately recognizes you and escorts you up the pathway to the front of the house. Once there, the door is open. He guides you to the interior of the house. While the downstairs seems to be more of an administrative functionary, he takes you through the warmth of the common room, down a wooden hallway, and here you can hear two people kind of arguing about something. The guard then knocks on the door, and you hear, "What is it, Hubert? What do you want?" My lord, the individuals the message that was brought to you by the caretaker of the Blue Water Inn, the family daughter that brought the message, Erwin Martikov's daughter. The three individuals are here to speak with you, my lord. Oh, wasn't expecting them so soon. Interesting. You hear the door creak open. As the door opens, you can hear the barking of dogs from the interior of the office. You can also hear a woman's voice as well. Well, let them in. See what they want. At the moment that they open the door, two rather large hounds are pacing on either side of the office area that you're brought into. It's a rather large library-like study. The two dogs exclusively stare at Ludolf, begin to kind of like low growl in Ludolf's direction, immediately catch his scent, and they kind of run off whimpering into the corners of the library. Both the Baron and Baroness kind of exchange worried looks and then immediately put on the political smiles that they've been trained to do for so long. The Baron and Baroness look up away from the dogs, and Baron Vargas Vallakovich kind of points, yes, this is my wife. I am Baron Vargas Vallakovich. Please have a seat. You are now the famous heroes of Vallaki. I have been given a great deal of information about what you had done over at the Coffin Maker's house. It's very unfortunate that people can't simply realize that if they simply smile and allow the day to shine, things will always get better. Wouldn't you say, Master Zoof?
The light does lead the way.
It does. It does indeed. The Baroness looks at the Baron. Well, I will make my way and have the staff prepare dinner for this evening. I will leave it to you, husband. Remember what we discussed? Oh, of course. Be off with you. The Baroness kind of glides out the door, and the Baron now sits behind a large wooden desk stacked with papers and books and all sorts of administrative sundries that keep his job worthy of his time. Now, how can the old Baron help the three of you?
Before I say anything, I'm looking around at him and just the study as we did being led in the house for signs, like devotional signs, like the sort of whether it's the Morning Lord, you call them Hesiod or anything, relics or proofs of faith.
I would say upon entry into the ground floor, walking through the hallway and the common area where people are expected to wait before they meet with the Burgomaster, there's a sense of Hesiod-like reliquary.
Mm-hmm.
Paintings, statues of different variations of its belief, even a statue of the blazing sun that's like the centerpiece to his administrative hall of the entry point. Mm-hmm. Banners and tapestries, almost to the point of obsession, almost to the point of like zealot-like interpretation, or even possible desperation at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
His library and study is a place of old books, new books, strange kind of statues and other items sitting on many different shelves. a kind of single window that looks out onto the front garden with kind of dark draperies, kind of giving the window a kind of gloomy or grim kind of like look. But the one thing the three of you notice is that even though he's looking at you in expectation of conversation, his eyes tend to twitch nervously. You can't help but notice that there's a bit of a brow sweat on his brow. You know how you get nervous people get that little bit of perspiration on their upper lip. He also has a bit of a kind of unwashed smell about him. A man who clearly can take a bath every day and afford to do so, considering someone of his stature, of his expectations of the town, but has that kind of, while his hair is well kept, he's not a clean person, like someone who has forgotten how to take care of themselves properly to a certain degree. He does have a holy symbol of Hession that he wears around his neck. That tells you immediately, Zoof, he is not undead. He is not someone that would be attributed to such a fiendish relationship. He would not be able to bear the pain of wearing such an emblem, if that was true. But there is a kind of, you know, that glazed look that people get in their eyes when you want to hope that they're drunk, but you don't see a drop of liquor anywhere around. He's just got that kind of little hint of madness in his eyes that hasn't fully revealed itself yet.
Lucian creates a small image of von Holtz. Do you know this man?
No, I can't say I've met him before. Is he a person of interest we should be worried about?
He has visited the town and may have caused some commotion. Commotion that might threaten the Sun Festival.
And what did you say his name was?
Von Holtz.
Give me a persuasion check on that one, Lucian.
Vasily von Holtz.
6.
Dang it!
Well, you did create the illusion. So I'll say because you gave such a detailed representation, you could have advantage. So you can give me another roll.
All right.
It's only fair.
8.
8. He seems to be very unconvinced and seems to almost kind of ignore the concern. Well, I mean, to blame a nobleman of such unwanted behavior seems a bit on edge to me. I would require a bit more evidence than just your word for me to make that assumption, dear sir.
In the stockade is one of his conspirators, and he's been arrested already in your stockade.
Heinrich? The coffin maker? I was led to believe that Heinrich was working of his own accord and was making illicit handlings of things within his coffin maker shop and dealing with dead bodies that should have already been interred. I'm unclear as to what your concern is.
The concern is that there is a conspiracy to undo the festival and create harm to the townsfolk. The full extent of it, we don't know at this point.
He quickly stands up and rubs his hands nervously. I can assure you, these good townsfolk would not break the law and speak harmful or do harmful things with the expectation of the blazing sun. He kind of walks over to the window, stares out the window briefly, and then quickly pulls the curtains kind of nervously closed. Well, so you're telling me that this von Holtz, this nobleman, intends to do my festival harm?
Yes, we believe that.
Well, we shall We shall take care of this instantly. He nervously walks over to his door, opens it. Captain? Captain of the guard, come here. You watch as a very nervous, very heavily clad in chainmail armor and wearing the chevrons of a captain, but also the tired eyes of a captain that's kind of sick of implementing the will of someone who's clearly going
It's like
off
a wind.
the deep end. Yeah, like
Almost
like
wind
the eyes of a
instead
captain that's like, oh great, what the fuck does this madman want now?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yes, Ben. Oh, what is required? These good folks here have made inquiries about a Von Holtz that was here and working in league with the coffin maker to disrupt and speak ill of our town and bring about the charade of destroying the merrymaking of our town and speaking ill of the blazing sun. Find him and immediately arrest him and bring him to me. Do you understand, Captain? Well, I think so, my lord. He kind of looks over the shoulder of the Burgomaster, sees the illusion on the desk, nods. He looks at the three of you with a look of like, please help me, do something. Just that kind of pained look of annoyance. And then, of course, Ben, I will see to it immediately. Oh, good. By the way, has our wine shipment gotten here yet? No, Ben, it has not. Oh, my wife is eager to get more of the Wizard of Wines. Anyways, that'll be all. Leave us in peace. That'll be all. Captain, of course, closes the door and retreats back out into the hallway. You can hear murmuring in the hallway. The equivalent of someone saying "Scheiße" out in the hallway.
Scheißenkraut. While this is going on, can I just do something real quick?
Sure.
I want to take one of the cookies from my pocket, and I'm gonna toss it to the dogs. And if either one of them respond, I'm gonna cast animal friendship on them.
Ooh, nice. Give me animal handling for starters as you toss the cookies over.
Wow, I got a +4 to that. I should be using that more often. That's 18.
18. They immediately just kind of like, there's like big puddles of drool left on the floor where they just kind of mouth suck up the cookies and lap them up and begin to kind of like cautiously approach you.
I pull out more of the cookies.
Okay. And you're going to cast animal friendship on them?
Yeah. I want to say, who's a good boy? Are you a good boy? And I'd also like to cast, while we're at it, I'll just cast speak with animals.
There it is. They do get a wisdom saving throw, however.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, they should probably do that first.
They will both fail. That's a 7 and a 5. So
I think I can only cast it on one person or one animal at this level, though. But
you can cast it at second level. That'll affect both.
oh, cool. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
On. Yeah, I'll do
Yeah,
that.
you could target one additional beast for an extra spell slot level above 1.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, they both kind of they both kind of soft pad over, and you're kind of doing that thing where you're rubbing at their jowls and scrunching their neck, and you're getting
and they're
dog
sniffing
slobber
me,
all
I'm
over your
sniffing them.
fingers. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and then you're gonna cast Speak with Animals.
Yeah.
All right.
So tell me,
Up it,
my friends, what is it you like in this house?
You feel a very kind of like distinct connection with the two dogs. And two dogs kind of stare at each other in surprise, and then look back over at where the Baron and Lucian and Zoof are all speaking, kind of like having their conversations separately. And the first dog looks at you. How is it you can speak with us?
Well, can't everybody?
No, but we can understand you, and you can understand us.
Yes, that's right.
The other dog goes, try. Well, try. Go ahead, try. The dog looks at the other dog. Put a cookie on the ground. I want another one.
How about you tell me what I asked you, and then I'll give you the cookie.
The two dogs stare at each other. The other dog goes, I told you, just like all the other humans, they don't really care unless you give them information.
What did you call me, little pup? A little human?
Well, you are human, aren't you?
Oh, don't you worry about what I am, little pup.
Two dogs stare at each other nervously. Go ahead. Ask your question. What did you want to know?
Well, just tell me. What is it like living here?
Well, frankly, it sucks on some days and can be kind of fun on other days. You know, that old man back there is quite mad, actually.
What's his deal?
Oh, I think he's just paranoid. He is convinced that some kind of evil overhangs this entire town and the land around it, and he believes that if he forces this God Hessian bullshit down everybody's throats, that the light will reveal itself and things will go back to normal.
What a fool. I suppose he feeds you well, though.
Well enough. It's not like he has people watching us all the time. The kitchen's always a good place to find scraps. And sausages! Lots of sausages.
I love sausages, too.
Both dogs kind of look at you strangely, and then kind of lap up a few more cookies off the ground.
But tell me, what secrets does he keep?
Oh, I would imagine he's not the one that keeps secrets. And the other dog goes, yeah, that's true. It's always the wife. Always the wife that keeps the secrets.
Oh, the lady is in charge, I see. So what's her issue?
I don't know if she's really in charge, but, you know, she spends a lot of her free time with that individual, that one, well, the big guy with the hump on his back.
The half-ogre?
Yeah, wherever the band goes, that smelly guy's there. And sausages. And sausages.
Who doesn't like sausages, though? I just want to... I'm not a dog, and I love sausages. Jeez. I'm a bit of a carnivore.
You know, it seems to me this Burger King has a limited amount of time left in his reign. It might do well for you to find a new master.
Dogs exchange looks and look at you and... What are you saying? Well, I think he's going to give us more sausages if we go with him.
Well...
Is that what you're saying? You want us to be with you?
I do know a place where you can get the best sausages. But for now, I want you to stay here. And I want you to do something for me.
For more sausages, we'll do just about anything.
Oh, you are a good boy.
Well, he's a boy. I'm a girl.
Oh, you know what I meant, right? Dogs are boys, cats are girls, right? Well, no, don't worry. Just...
Great, Reba. He's an idiot. I know, McIntyre. Everywhere we go, idiots. Idiot.
I'll tell you, I'm the smartest person I know. But
Then you're probably the only person you know.
I want you to stay here and watch the Burger Man. And I want you to tell me what happens here the next time I come. And perhaps one day we can make a pack of our own. And there will be sausages forever for everyone.
Both dogs begin to drool, and Lucian, you and Zoof notice, and the Baron gets a very kind of disparaging look on his face when he looks over. And there's these two hounds like leaping up onto Ludolf and kind of like licking up at his face, licking his fingers, kind of prancing around him. You watch as the Burgomaster kind of looks, Reba, McIntyre, away from him.
Reba McIntyre.
Oh my god.
Hey, if Charles is gonna slip in Burger King into it, I'm slipping in some.
I know. The game is afoot. I get
it. No complaints from me.
The two dogs immediately stop doing what they're doing and go running back to the other side of the Baron's desk. As they get to the other side of the Baron's desk, and the Baron turns to start talking to Lucian and Zoof again, one of the dogs props its head up and then kind of winks at you, Ludolf, and then goes back down behind the desk. Seeing as how dogs do not have opposable thumbs, that is not an option.
I wink back. Wink.
Well, gentlemen, is there anything else you need of me? I will be passing judgment upon Heinrich, and as soon as this dastardly von Holtz is discovered, we shall pass judgment upon them as well. Might I also insist? I think tomorrow evening we'll be lighting the wicker sun and beginning the festival of the blazing sun. I was hoping that perhaps you and your friends would be so kind as to speak at the feast. Of course, endorsing me and claiming to be heroes of the town, as well as bolstering the sense of the festival as well. You know, heroes should always be on good behavior, and heroes should always be, well, on the side of who is right.
I certainly would be that honor.
Good,
But
good.
if I may press upon you, though, there seems to be this. The coffin maker called him Valish. Others have called him Vasily von Holtz. This nobleman, whoever he may be, seems intent on destroying this town. The murderous, the vampire spawn that the coffin maker took in, whether he knew it or not, he was conspiring with this Vasily von Holtz. He called him Valish. That seems to be to throw the town into chaos, into just a bloodbath. Lady Fiona, we spoke with her before coming here. She plans on buying out the Wizard of Wine's winery in a sort of plan with this Vasily von Holtz. Whatever this nobleman is, you should take the matter seriously. You should have your guard on the lookout for him, as Brother Dreamweaver presented to you here. His image, it should be known by anyone in authority in the town.
I was not aware that Owen Martikov's father was selling the Wizardry of Wines. I find that hard to believe. And that Viper, Fiona, she is always conspiring, always looking to undo my family and undo my title. For all I know, she's involved in all of this. I can assure you, she is not one to be... He gets like a nervous tick forming on the right side of his face. She's not one to be trusted. That I can definitely assure you. And my guards and my captain will find this accursed nobleman, and we will straighten him out accordingly and make our discoveries accordingly. But since, as you said, you and yours have destroyed the creatures that were meant to disrupt our wonderful festival, that I think you should attend and speak to the wonderment of your heroic feats. And of course, speak to the wonderment of me, and wouldn't do much harm to say how I brought you on board to protect the town. I think it would be good for both of us. Yes. Good for both of us. Yes. And he kind of wanders over to his desk and sits down on the other side. Well, I'm a very busy man. There is no more inquiry. I would like to get back to my work.
I start standing up, but of course the chair's coming with my butt, so and I reach across the desk, so I'm sure I tower over it, and I take his hands and I give a prayer in Loxodon, because I feel that he just needs it. I don't try to give a lecture or anything about it, but the light certainly is missing.
Yeah, when you grab his hand is like trembling. You could tell that he's exhausted, that he's nervous. There's a moment of divine inspiration when you grab his hand. This is not a man that's cursed. You could feel that right away. You would know if he was cursed. Your natural aura and your presence would pick up on that. But this is a man that is being tortured by paranoia. This is a man that has no idea as to what's causing all the ill-fated acts and actions of the town and the surrounding area. This is a man who's lost to the paranoid kind of musings of someone that can't solve a problem and is attempting to cover the problem up with festivals, laws and decrees to reinforce the idea that these things don't exist. This is a man who probably hasn't slept a good night's sleep in days, if not weeks. You are praying for a man who is lost to paranoia and the curse of someone who simply is in a job they can't handle.
Anything further, Brother Ludolf, Brother Dreamweaver?
I think we've seen enough. Except for the ogre. We haven't seen the ogre, the bodyguard yet, right? That's with the wife.
Yeah, it's like as you guys come out of the study and into the hallway, down on the other side of the common area, you can see a man that's even to Zoof is quite large. The height of the ceiling on the first floor is maybe 11 or 12 feet, and this man stands roughly like 8 feet, almost 9 feet, because he does hunch over a bit as he's in a deep conversation with the Baroness. The two of them are like exchanging quiet words. The man, however, it's like one arm is longer than the other. He's got a very obvious kind of deformity on his back. His legs are like tree trunks, just these thick legs. And while he's large, he's by no means like heavy. He's just very stocky and built in a very thick way. One eye is slightly larger than the other eye. He's kind of got a brutal, square and split kind of looking jaw. Teeth that are, some are large, some are small. And even though he thinks he's whispering, you can kind of hear him answering the Baroness like, "Yes, Baroness, I understand. I shall keep your husband safe." And then he turns and just starts slowly walking down the hallway. He eyes the three of you with a mixture of confusion and kind of despisement. Like maybe you're going to displace his role. And he just kind of eyes you a hard kind of first day in prison look. You know, that you know, show me your jacket. We'll let you know whether or not you're going to live or not. And kind of just keeps walking down the hallway, looks away, and you hear the Baron kind of look up. Oh, Isik, good to see you. Come in. We have people to look for. And then the door closes. The Baroness sees the three of you standing there. Well, are you going to help my husband or not?
Yep, we're the good guys.
Good. Then we will expect your presence tomorrow evening at the lighting of the effigy. You will speak his good name, and you will give him the positive affirmation that this town needs. You will remind the town that it was under the direction of my husband that you were brought here to begin rolling back the dark tides of the land. This will give us all a good measure and, well, give everybody a understanding of who they should and shouldn't believe in. And might I give you three a piece of advice? Be wary of Fiona. She is not to be trusted, I assure you. Well, good day. You can find yourselves out the way you came in, of course. She turns on her heels. A couple of stewards, I don't want to call them maids, female stewards that kind of walk in her wake as they quickly disappear with her up the stairs and up into the kind of more residential portion of the Burgomaster estate. Even the three of you briefly alone in the common area. You know, you could hear the guards out front. You can hear the soft footwalks of the Baroness upstairs. You could hear the mumblings and whispered conversation down the long hallway in the study and library of the Baron and his bodyguard. There's a few minutes that you guys have alone here in this common entryway area. Anything you'd like
a foyer sort of area?
Yeah, it's like a foyer entrance and then like a common seating area that people would sit and wait to be either brought into the Burgomaster's office or brought into another part of the house. You see a very open area that looks to be a long dining table set up for purposes of entertainment. You get the feeling that the ground floor is all about administrative and the dining area and the kind of area that people come to have personal interactions. You get the feeling that the remainder of the upstairs is all like the personal residence of whoever currently resides within the Burgomaster house.
Is there a sign-in log or anything?
Not particularly one that you can see, but you can give me perception as you glance around.
$18, not bad.
That's actually pretty good. Oh, rather than the foyer and the waiting area to have one, the hallway or archway entrance into the dining room, you could see sitting on a pedestal a registry book.
I'll go peek at it.
Okay. As you head over there, you open the book. You can see familiar names. You can see the names of the Martikov family has been here before. You can see that Fiona has been here before. You could see other names of people that must reside within the city here, and there's corresponding dates, and it would appear that at least 2-3 times a week guests are allowed in for a meal with the Baron and Baroness. It would also appear that those dinners stopped happening about a week and a half ago. And the last person to sign the registry is someone by the name of Baron Vallaki von Holtz.
Aha!
And there are no other entries, no other hostings, no other dinners from the registry that you can tell. It's been a little over a week ago.
How could that be when he doesn't know him?
Funny how that happens.
It is.
Hmm.
When did the wine stop shipping? Do we remember?
About a week ago.
Aha! The same time of the visit.
Curious.
Interesting. Anything else? Let's poke around. So, and nothing else. The last meal was a week ago. Do we get the sense that he was paranoid always, or he's been paranoid for about a week?
It feels like that paranoia has been getting worse and worse. That his decrees and this obsession with the idea of the Festival of the Sun all appears to be happening within this recent week.
It looks like the wife is the one with the what you call it, pants on, and she's got a kind of thing going with. Is it? At least that's what I heard. Don't ask me where.
Yes, I can tell you this much, Brother Ludolf. To quote the Chronicles of Hesiod, there was an adept of Hesiod who tried to listen to his wife and met unfortunate circumstances, and it's often quoted by the Brotherhood as the example of how women often lead us astray. You can see the lesson in how we led Sister Ireena to safety, and she was not the one doing the leading. You'll notice that our Brotherhood has formed and accomplished goals. We certainly don't want women to have some sense of authority. Things tend to go terribly off the cart track. Lady Fiona, for example, you see her behavior. That's not just the maybe dark influence of this representative of the Baron or the Baron himself. This is also just as the sun sets and rises in its pattern, men are to lead and not be led. We are the light.
Well, I mean, my friend Red's real smart, though. Maybe she's like a man, but she's a woman.
But Brother Ludolf, if I'll just remind you, you can't find the dear young lady. She's led herself astray. And notice you're the one up to look for her and bring her back.
Yeah, you're right.
You see?
Bitches do be tripping.
Oh, when real life and fantasy meet halfway.
The power accorded to the Burgomaster's wife. There's a reason why we don't travel by the moon and we travel by the sun. Do you see what I'm saying?
I like the moon. The moon shines the way through the darkness, right?
Oh, no good can come of any of this. This is up to us to rectify all of this confusion and situation. And I think the winery, would you agree, Brother Lucian, the winery, all roads point to it.
I think all roads conveniently point to the winery.
And
And
just to
do
say you
we...
find the solution too simple.
Yes, I do. I think all of this is too simple. I think the winery, and if we would go to the winery, we wouldn't make it back in time for the Sun Festival.
Is that true? I forget the distance anybody told us about. Did we ask
It
about that?
it would be about a half a day to get there and a half a day to get back.
And the festival is when?
The festival is set to begin tomorrow night.
Ooh.
Oh.
We can get back just in time then.
So we can rest and come back and hit the festival. But to your point,
take a short rest is what you're saying, and then
take a long rest, probably.
or a long rest. We need a long rest. I do anyway.
Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. But get up tomorrow.
Wake up, half day there, half day back. Then I think we make the festival.
I mean, that's assuming that we go there, hang out for 5 minutes, and then come back. If we go there and then something else happens, then we might not be able to come
I was
back.
gonna say, yeah.
Well,
I
we
mean,
could do.
you're making plans like my dad here on vacation. It's like, oh, we're making good time. Oh, dude, we got to hang out for a little bit more than 5 minutes.
The whole point is to enjoy the destination.
Yeah,
We call that we always used to call that the Disneyland effect, where you could tell the difference between people that spent $2,000 to be at Disneyland for one day versus people that spent, $2,000 on passports, right, to be at Disneyland whenever they want. They're the ones that are walking, chilling, doing whatever. The other family is like running all the time to get to everything on time. Good old-fashioned American vacation.
I'm saying it's not possible.
Money for happiness.
Yep.
If we take a cart, we can load it up with wine and bring it back for the festival.
Oh, now that's a good idea, right? Cart full of wine, you can have some fun.
It seems if we are to be present for the festival, we cannot do any sort of proper diligence to the situation by leaving tomorrow morning. It would have to be for the following day.
After the festival?
That's, if I to understand correctly, we do have this issue of time.
But like, if we showed up with a wagon full of wine, we'd be like the heroes of the party, right?
We would. Is there any way you can pull it off without resting?
Oh, good luck right away.
Time-wise. I mean, we go there, we might have an encounter or two.
Yeah, if you need to, you can sleep in the wagon, right? Oh, wait, we're not in the wagon. Yeah.
Well, I will travel through the night if you so request it of me. You tell me.
I prefer the dark anyway.
There's that Ludolf creepy growl. Yeah, dark. I like that dark.
Who would go on the trip? Any compatriots to join us? Or just the three of us?
Just the three of us. We can make it if we try. Just the three of us. You and I.
I'll leave that up to you guys. At
Lucian,
this point, you guys are still lingering inside the estate. Anything you want to do before leaving the estate?
detect magic.
Ooh. Instantly or ritual?
Let me look here. Ritual.
Okay. We'll say while
And then
Ludolf and Zoof were discussing the finer points of traveling at night, you take some of that time to ritually cast detect magic. From within the center of the foyer area, you realize that invisibly etched into the ceiling is a glyph of warding that seems to indicate that this particular area is protected from divination spell effects, such as scrying, detect thoughts, zone of truth. You get the feeling that somebody has placed that ward there to make certain that no one could directly affect anybody if a conversation was going on within the confines of the common area.
Interesting.
Yeah. If we tell nobody else about this, we can leave like right away, and nobody would know.
Can you tell how long it is? That like a permanent thing up there, or did
Give me an Arcana check on that one, Lucian.
Ooh, here we go. 23.
It's a well-crafted ward. The only way it can fail is if the ward itself, the kind of engraved nature of the ward, is actually physically destroyed. As long as it's there, it's going to magically protect this immediate area from divination effects.
One of the things about going out to this place is I have fine steed. Now, maybe if we can convince Mardukov to get you two some sort of horse.
We can ride the dogs.
And if a horse would put up with Ludolf, that might be a challenge. That would cut off some speed. That would add some speed to it.
And if we have a cart, that would be a horse. We can go pretty fast with that.
Yeah. Yeah, true. True.
And we can talk openly.
I propose we speak to Brother Mardukov. If he can loan you some horses, and then we can depart forthwith.
Agreed. If you can go make that contact, let's leave this place. And Lucian needs 1 hour to prepare a spell.
Okay.
Not speaking, it's not in character.
Right.
Okay.
In here, we found this ward thing. We can speak here without being scryed on. Anything else with the detect magic?
Was that a question for me?
Yes.
Oh, I missed that part. Sorry. Say that again.
Detect magic is still going off. Anything else other than this ward?
I would say if you kind of like walk around the common room, that appears to be the only magical effect within the room that you can see.
Okay, fair enough. Anything else if we search around?
Give me an investigation check.
24.
24.
Holy shit. Plus
You-
8.
Yeah, +8, right?
Intelligence.
You do see offset to where the dinner hall would be with the fine dining area. There is a very well curated like series of bottled wines, kind of all racked and kind of on this particular racked area where they could be pulled and then used as part of dinners. It's here that you do notice something a little bit strange. There seem to be a lot of there is bottles of something called Champagne de l'Eston, and then a lot of bottles that seem to be called Red Dragon Crush. What's interesting is that there's a lot of empty places where these bottles would normally be stored. You could see that the amount of bottles here are steadily diminishing, like they're being used and then not replenished.
That would make sense. Low on wine. Are these bottles labeled from the wizard, though? I mean, is there like a wizard mark on them versus...
Yeah, you do recognize the family mark of the Martikovs, and there's also the emblem that would reflect that it's from the Wizard of Wine's winery.
All right, so there's empties there. There's empty slots with no inventory. Okay.
Let me see my spells.
There's empty bottles.
Not empty bottles, but empty slots where the bottles would go.
Oh, okay.
No empty bottles that you could see.
Ooh, I'd have to. Yeah, I'm out of second level spell slots, so I'd have to do a roll to see if I can summon a steed.
I don't know what kind of steed you ride.
Big one.
A massive mastodon, like a woolly mammoth.
Let's
A
see it.
Luxodon on a woolly mammoth.
There you go.
You guys head out of the Burgomaster's house at this point?
Yeah, let's head out.
Okay. You're now back in the now kind of like the streets aren't as busy. The sun has clearly started to go down. It's that like last hour of fading gray light as the darkness is beginning to creep. There's a dampness in the area, or like in the overall air, there's kind of dampness. The beginning of a rising fog on the outskirts of town as well.
Let's go find our steeds in cart.
Yeah.
So back to the end.
Back to the inn. You should be able to hook us up, and we'll get on our way.
Doesn't take you guys very long. You make it back to the Blue Water Inn. The Martikov patron, sure I use his name correctly. I shifted my notes because I'm an idiot. Erwin Martikov listens to what you guys plan on doing. Your passive insight is high enough to know that he's not telling the whole truth at this point.
That's the innkeeper?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like he's
Yep.
getting a little bit like the more energy and the more effort you're putting into assembling the idea of going to the Wizard of Wines, the more you're like, he's very sympathetic, but also kind of you feel like he's holding something back.
Zone of truth.
I can roll for it. I don't have any more second level spell slots, so I'd have to roll for it.
Let's just straight up to kind of convince them. Marky, what's your concern?
Give me a persuasion check on that.
Not good, but we'll try it. 6. So the drow's not connecting.
Oh, no, I assure you, everything's quite fine. No problems. No problems. I will have my son hitch a wagon with 2 draft horses, and you can take the family cart to the Wizard of Wines.
Thank you very much.
Of course, of course.
Do we need the draft horses, or can we just use your summon steed? Would that be a bad use of summon steed to use the bull wagon?
That's a DM decision.
You could do that if you want. I always find it much more fun when you use a magical creature to pull your wagon and then the creature is dispelled.
Better than some lame burrow or donkey.
Oh, I can use this once per long rest. I think I could just use it. It doesn't depend on the spell.
Yeah, I think it's
Since it goes-
it's part of your abilities. Yeah,
It's part of my subclass. Yeah, with
Yeah.
the faith of whatever the hell I am, paladin. Sorry,
Hell yeah.
oath of faith.
Oath of Faith.
Oh wow.
Well, we do have the cart.
As the
Nope.
cart and the say that again.
Sorry, I was just making a lame joke. Don't put the cart before the horse. Okay.
I don't-
I got it out of my system. Okay.
Just as
we have
night.
a 3, right? We're heading out in the cart of 3.
Yeah, is just the three of you going, or are you going to see if anyone else wants to come?
Yeah, if we went back to the inn, or we could go stop by the church, right, and grab Gartham.
Well, it's more.
Yeah, you could grab
Gartham?
Gartham. I would say Gartham and Ismark would be available to go.
Well,
Let's go.
Lucian starts to summon. Lucian's casting a summon spell. Summon Fae.
Which takes an hour.
I looked at it again. I guess it does not. So
I was wondering why that spell was on the Discord.
if you look in the blog, there's a summoning. Lucian summons his twin sister. Looks like him with boobs.
Wow, what a babe.
It's like meeting your buddy's sister. The face is the same, but
Deep cuts. Deep
Woo!
cuts.
Woo!
That goes way back. Way back.
so it's a Fae summoning that can join us. And she looks at you two
Okay.
and says, "What does an elephant and a woodcutter do when they run into a tavern?" Ouch. He's a mirthful Fae.
Ah,
Gonna do
Nothing
my
like a
don't
stand-up
care.
day for the journey out to the Wizard of Wines.
The same cosmic getup, but more cosmic jewelry. So it clangs around a little bit more.
more accessories. Accessorizes a bit more. Okay.
The cats in the cart, and Lucinda will walk along the cart on the trip.
Zoof, what does your summoned steed look like that's going to pull the cart?
Oh, good lord. The thing is, if I'm reading the description, it could be like a horse, a camel, a direwolf, an elk.
I mean, technically, for flavor, you can make it anything you
Large.
want.
Something creepy.
Something.
Elk with moss on it or something.
make it an eyeball with 7 wings. It says, "I have no fear."
I'm gonna reset my camera. Give me 1 second.
Oh, let me see. Hang on. Should we get freaky and go for like a biblically correct angel? I don't know if you've ever looked at
That's what I
those
was
or seen that. It's like that's why as soon as you said eyes, like something with eyes all over it or something. Let's maybe He-Man inspired. Let's make it a large, a very like a huge panther, like a huge green panther with yellow stripes.
Oh, I love it. Let's go He-Man. I love the idea of going He-Man. That's awesome.
Is it
Mush.
Cringer.
Mush that panther.
Before long, you guys find yourself in the cart with a new companion, Lucinda. Both Gartham and Ismark join you, leaving Eric the Cleric and his sister behind in the protected church. You guys find your way through the gates, heading out of Vallaki and heading on the south road towards the Wizard of Wines. It is now well into the night. The sun has set. The fog is rising. There's a bit of darkness. Traversing through here, everyone go ahead and give me perception checks as you're keeping an eye out for anything nefarious.
I'll put a nose out to roll with advantage.
21.
21.
Yeah, 7.
7.
14.
14.
My smell-based perception check.
Roll her. Okay. There's a quietness about the road that is a little bit unnerving. This journey south feels different than the journey you took to get here. This is taking you down a new route that you're unfamiliar with. The forest, the trees. While some of the area that you've been through before had a sense of darkness and a overall sense of just an old ancient forest that's just a bit unnerving. Here, this journey, you're beginning to see things that seem a little bit different. The trees here look to slowly be dying. The underbrush, dry, brittle, and kind of like clearly in a state of decay. And the further south you go, the worse it kind of gets. You can see a sizable deer on the side of the road that is in full decay. No obvious signs of what killed it or how it died, but its remains on the side of the road. Eventually, you go past a rabbit and then a squirrel in similar condition. And that's when you begin to notice that the night sounds are absent. No insects, no night birds, no owls. And this part of the forest, the closer and the further you get down the south end of this route, the more kind of a distinct smell of rot is occurring. The fog eventually gives way to the rotted gases of methane that is slowly being released. And that's when you begin to realize that this particular area is slowly becoming a swamp. As the trees rot, the animals die, but it's a swamp in physical appearance only. There's no sense of a bog. There's no sense of any kind of muddy kind of like waters or excessive rains that would cause this. It's around midnight when you crest a hill. This hill kind of like looks down into a valley. Looking down into this valley, you can see a large building connected to a large estate. It's maybe a mile away at best. The long kind of like winding road that leads down into this valley, you can see grapevines and cultured orchards of vines spreading to the right and left of this winery. The sense of the decay feels strong here within the outer perimeter. You can even notice that some of the vineyard areas down in the valley, some are still intact and some look to have been completely rotted, maybe even being rotted for quite some time. You could see what looks to be a large wooden barn with lots of empty wagons. You could also see that the barn has stables, but no sounds of any horses. What would you guys like to do next?
Turn around.
There's,
This place sucks. I'm out of here.
Oh, good
There's-
call.
there's no like sort of undead entities like going around through like around the house, or you can't. Are there any
No,
lights on
no,
in
you
the
can't really
house, or do you
see-
anything lit up or in
Yeah,
the
you
structure?
can't really. You're pretty far away. You'd have to get closer. This is just kind
Okay.
of like the overall description of the place as you can immediately see it down in the valley. But there's no immediate sense of any ghostly or undead creatures milling about. There's no movement at all. There's a half-dead orchard in front of the first vineyard. The road kind of trails nearest the orchard, and then leads up into the front of the winery, where the barn and the stablery and all the different vineyards are kind of attached. It's a traditional look, something that you would kind of see traveling to any kind of like winery, like the buildings at its center, the vineyards all surround it. Some of the vineyards look rotten and in decay, while some of the other vineyards look to be okay, not rotten or in decay.
Is there any pattern to it? Like the most harder ones are okay, and the closer you get to the building, they're more rotted.
Actually, it's interesting. There's no particular pattern at all, from what you can tell.
Okay.
It would appear some vines are fine and others are not.
And there's no signs of life at all.
Not from this distance.
Any grapes on the vines?
Hard to tell. It's night, so
Yeah.
you'd have to get closer.
Lucian will have the cat just saunter over a little bit off the path
Okay.
and see if there's any grapes.
Well, the vineyard's a mile down into the valley.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so you still have some footwork to get down into the valley if you choose to continue.
Maybe we shouldn't take the direct route and go off to the sideline.
Seems kind of easy. Just follow the road, right? Do we see any alternative ones we could possibly do, like a unused wagon path through the utility of the like a utility?
Yeah, I would say you could see some wagon paths that lead into different parts of the vineyard, probably done to collect the grapes and bring them either to the barn or other parts of the vineyard. The main road actually kind of dead ends down into the heart of the vineyard, but there are ancillary cart roads that lead into different parts of the vineyard as well.
How do we get to the building, though?
It looks like the main road dead ends, and it's all open gravel kind of fairgrounds in front of where the main buildings are. But if you were to take the cart roads, looks like those roads lead directly into the heart of each of the different vineyards, and then there's probably footpaths that take you back in the direction of the heart of the winery itself.
Well, I think this is all a setup. We can just ride our cart right into the. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's what Zoof would do actually.
Can you do your
He's a
like,
paladin.
can you do your like magic stuff to make it look like we're doing that? Like you can make people look like magic look like people, right?
Well, I could maybe do some sort of a minor illusion to make us look like something different.
Or like what I'm saying is like you have you do a magic thing where it looks like we're riding into the place, but we're not really riding into the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it cast an illusion in front of it that shows us we're turning off all the time.
Right. Yeah.
We're not. You stay on the road. Could do that.
But we're like all being smart and stuff, right? Like we're just like, we're gonna attack somebody, like we're skullbuggery, right?
That's right.
Right.
Plus, it's dark.
You feel the wagon begin to slowly lurch forward. Lucian using his illusionary effect to kind of deceive slightly ahead of the wagon as you begin to kind of progress down the last stretch of the road. It's when you get about halfway down the road that you begin to see with a little bit more clarity of the immediate entrance point into the winery. You also can see 4 individuals up in a tree. It looks to be a woman, a man, and 2 children up in like the boughs of the orchard trees that are nearby. You then look beyond where they are up in the tree, and you can see a woman dressed in strange robes with kind of like wild plants growing from her hair. You can see she's slightly tall with a kind of a stoop to her. It's at this point, Ludolf, while she doesn't look exactly the same, she looks familiar to you. This looks like one of those things you saw in the forest that had overtaken your mind and drew you in. It's when all of you in the wagon recognize that that's a hag standing out in the middle of one of the vineyards. She kind of turns over her shoulder, points towards the orchard, hisses some kind of invocation underneath her breath. And from the undergrowth of the vineyards itself, you see these rotted vine-like creatures come to life as about 2 or 3 dozen of these vine-like creatures begin to swarm out of the vineyard and begin to swarm up towards the orchard, up towards the illusion that Lucian has placed in front of the wagon. And you can just hear this voice. The last one will be mine. Where is the gem, you fool? And that's where we're going to finish tonight. As you guys are finally at the Wizard of Wines, and we get to take on the second hag. All right, you guys go ahead and linger. Everybody else, thank you for watching. Be safe, be kind, and don't forget, play a game, everybody. We'll see you in a couple weeks.